If you want to master flange welding, you must first learn the folding technique. In this video, I'll share a welding tip for using the folding technique on flanges. First, to master the folding technique, you must first learn how to weld with a high current oscillating technique. You need to start by using high current. If you use low current while welding with the folding technique, you'll find that the edges of the molten metal on both sides of the base material aren't neat. Why? Because the molten metal won't spread properly, making it difficult to align the fusion line neatly. That's the first step. So, what's the optimal current setting? Remember this, the current for the folded grip technique must be higher than for the rocking grip or floating grip methods. For example, with a flange about 10 mm thick and a pipe about 8 mm thick, the best current setting is around 200. If you're an experienced welder, what should you set it to? Around 220, because the higher the current, the smoother the melting. That's the first step. The second step when welding a bent joint, remember, your torch holding posture is crucial. Be very careful not to use the same technique as for a swinging joint, where you use your little finger to push the torch while making a swinging motion. If you do that, you'll find the position feels particularly awkward when welding a bent joint. Your hand won't be able to lift the torch high enough. So what technique should we use? We need to use the broad blade grip. Just as the broad blade grip is prohibited for swing welding, it's essential for folding welding, but you must hold it loosely. Don't grip it too tightly. If you do, your arm will become stiff. Another point is how I lift the torch during the folding process. I hold it longer on the upper side and shorter on the lower side. 121. This prevents the molten metal from sagging downward and reduces the risk of undercutting along the base metal's edge on the upper side. This is the second point, it's about the dwell time on both sides. What else is there? The most critical factor is the length of the tungsten electrode tip. Regarding the length of the tungsten electrode tip, you must pay close attention to this during welding. You must use a long tungsten electrode. A longer one works better than a shorter one. No matter how long the tungsten electrode is, I always make sure the tip can lower the arc. When I use a short tungsten electrode to lower the arc, look at the angle I'm at. It's basically 90 degrees, tilted backward by about 20 degrees. Watch as I try to move it forward, you'll see it won't move at all. No matter what I do, it just wobbles in place. The more it wobbles, the hotter it gets. The more the molten metal drips downward, and the more likely it is to hit the tungsten electrode. That's why the length of the tungsten electrode is so critical. We intentionally extend it. How much? We adjust it so that the welding gun forms a 45-degree angle. It must be slightly greater than 45 degrees. 45 degrees itself isn't ideal. A slight angle greater than 45 degrees is actually the most effective. Once the angle is set to slightly more than 45 degrees, check the height of the tungsten electrode tip. At this angle, slightly tilted back from 45 degrees, the tip should be exactly 2 mm above the base metal. This is the optimal length for the tungsten electrode tip. When welding a bent handle, should the welding wire be positioned in the center of the weld beam, above it, or below it? Many people often choose the center, right? But placing it in the center is incorrect. It's best to position it slightly above the center, similar to horizontal welding. This way, when the molten metal rises, it flows upward more easily and is less likely to sag. You must place it slightly above the center. If you place it exactly in the center, the molten metal is prone to sagging. Now watch how I adjust the angle. You shouldn't just rotate the torch forward while keeping the wire stationary. If the wire stays still, it will gradually form a vertical angle. At that vertical angle, you'll find you can't feed the wire at all. Be sure to pay attention. As the torch rotates, your body and the wire must also move backward continuously, keeping the wire tip in constant contact with the base metal. An angle of around 20 degrees is ideal. Next, let's adjust the current to 200. Take a look at the high-definition molten pool on this folded joint.